Hello, today I want to focus on 3 embroider mistakes that most people make. And so let's get into our thread basket, and I want to get out the project that I'm going to do. So today, and I'll put a picture here. Today I am working on a ribbon that I just tore from cloth. I just tore a big long strip, and I'm going to wrap it around the painting that I did for my best friend. And I'm wanting the ribbon to look or mimic the painting. She loves birds, so we're going to do tiny branches today. And that's where we're going to start with our 3 major embroider mistakes and how to fix them. Okay, the first one is starting with a knot, and I'll tell you why. If you start with a knot and you pull it up from the back, that knot is going to show, especially if you're doing a ribbon. You want the ribbon to look nice on the back as you do on the front. Or if you're doing any kind of project where the back's going to show, okay? A knot is a very big mistake. Or if you have material that is see-through, kind of translucent, you're going to see through. You're going to see that knot through. So I'm going to show you a waist knot. And so we're still going to do a knot, but it's going to be a waist knot. So you're going to start with a knot, even though I don't want you to start with a knot, but it's going to be a waist knot. So you're going to start with that, and you're going to put it through, and you're going to start on the top. Okay? And I'll show you why it's a waist knot. Then you're going to begin your embroidery or your project. And what I do is I tack it down, going through the thread fiber. Hopefully you can see that. So basically split the thread. See that? I know it's kind of hard to see because I'm only using one strand, and I'm doing one strand because of the delicate nature of this project. And branches, I always do one thread. Okay, and since it's a branch, see how tiny that is? And I'm going to split my thread and begin to sew. Now, what do I do with the waist knot? Well, since we know it's good and tight, we're going to simply cut it off, and I'm going to pull it as much as possible and cut it so it'll disappear. And that's all there is to it. Very simple. Okay, so let's do a few branches here, and we will get on to the next embroidery mistake that most people make. Okay, the next one, and there's several mistakes that people make in embroidery, but these are the 3 basic that I've come across and seen people do that I really wanted to show you. And if you stay tuned to the end of this video, I'll do some bonus mistakes and show you. So the next thing is is tension, and I've explained this before, but since we're using one thread, I will show you what I mean. Okay, so here the tension is perfect. Okay, so now if we get in in here, and we'll still split the threads. We are still doing the same type of embroidery, just like I have been doing, but we're going to change the tension, okay? So let's say we're not paying attention and it's too tight. Okay, what's happening is it's puckering. So if I continue to go on, and I'm not going to do that because this is a real project I'm working on, but if we continue to go on, we're going to start having puckering, okay? Or if we get this too loose and we're not paying attention, then it's going to start doing weird stuff. It's not going to lay right, okay? So watch your tension, okay? And then the third mistake I want to show you is not connecting. So sometimes people will go in and they're not paying attention. So instead of connecting it here or splitting the thread to where it looks like one continuous line here, they'll either go down like this, and see all of a sudden that looks like a totally different branch. Completely changes the look. So say you did this and you don't want to take your thread out and everything, and I'll just show you how to fix it. So what you're going to do is you're going to connect them. And what I can do, since this is just a branch, and this is especially if you don't have a pattern. Now, if you're working on a pattern, you're going to want to take that stitch out. I mean, that's just part of the whole process here. We have to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it work by just doing a little branch off to the side, and I already have this one going. So now I've got all kinds of branches going, but that's okay. So the other thing that people make mistakes with, is not connecting them at all. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So this I'll actually want to curve. So let me show you. This right here. Here's another way to fix that. See how I started off? Instead of going here to here, I'm going to curve it. And this is how you curve. You use a couch stitch. And that'll help fix that line there, okay? So that's another way you can fix it. And then the other way people don't do it is they simply don't connect it. Okay, so now we have this floating branch stick now, okay? And then obviously what you want to do is you want to come back, and this is especially if you don't have, if you've gone on way down the road and you still haven't seen it, you still haven't seen your mistake, you can come back and, I'm seeing something there, you can come back and just stitch it and just connect them. And this is how you fix that. You connect them. Just like that. Okay, so this is all the little tips and tricks I have, but I want to show you, if you've stayed this long, another mistake, or talk about another mistake. Okay, so this obviously is a branch. My biggest mistake, say I'm doing thread painting, which I will probably do on this later, but my biggest mistake if I was thread painting would be using way too many strands, okay? For delicate work in embroidery, you want to use one strand, and you see why, because these branches are really delicate. But if I use, say, all 6 strands, it's going to look choppy, it's going to look bad. So for thread painting, for instance, and I've shown this before, but see, this is way too many strands. This is all 6 strands, and look how chunky and uneven it is. And I connected them, but because it was so bulky, it made a bigger hole there. See those big holes? And it didn't connect all the way. So this is using just 2 strands. Okay, and see how much more it blends. And then if I use just 1 strand, it's going to blend beautifully. Okay, so here's a branch, perfect example. Okay, see, I didn't connect it there, but see how much delicate that looks. And then this is a bunch of strands, and that's just 2. So see how prettier it looks, especially if I would have connected it, but you get the idea. Okay, so that's a perfect example of why you need to pay attention to the amount of threads that you use. So, and like I said, thread painting, I may do an example later, but thread painting with 1 strand is so much prettier, and 2. A bunch is just not going to work. So that is what I wanted to show with you today. And so let's recap here. The waist knot, you start with a knot on top, and then you tack it down real tiny. And you don't even have to start with the waist knot. You can start with just your thread. I've shown this before. I think I showed this in the last video. And just hold your thread down while you tack it, and then cut your thread. You don't necessarily need to start with the knot, but if you feel better about worrying about if that's going to slip while you're tacking it down, then start with your waist knot. And then the next thing is control your tension and connect your lines. Just make sure your lines are connected as you go. And that's it. Just clip this. And then later, if I want the back to look better, I'll just go and weave my strand underneath. So that's how you do it. Real simple. And I hope this helps you. Let me know in the comments if this has helped you. And if you like videos like this, let me know down in the comments. And or if there's something else you would like to see, I would love to help you and be happy to help you. Thanks for watching.